Hey everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in to watch this YouTube video where we'll be exploring the question of identity and change and the question of dying and of losing yourself and how you hold on to yourself in a world that is constantly changing. Thank you so much, first of all, for choosing to tune in to my video. Of all the countless videos you could be watching right now, you're choosing to watch this. And I really, really appreciate it. And if you want to say anything about this or have any thoughts about it, I really, really appreciate your comments. And you're always welcome to send me an email or to reach out because that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still making videos, because I like to talk to you all. And I want to talk today about the matter of change, knowing that your cells renew themselves every 6 months, knowing that you go to bed every night and you wake up and you're a little bit different every single day. It's like your consciousness resets and you're just changing, learning, growing, changing over and over again in this infinite cycle. So how do you hold on to yourself when there are so many changes? I know for me and for my YouTube channel, there's been a lot of changes. I started out as somebody that was really looking for answers into the question of who I was. That's why I got so interested in personality psychology. That's why I studied Carl Jung, Maslow, Adler, and all the different psychologists. And that's why I made videos about personality types, the MBTI, the Big Five. I wanted to really get to the bottom of whether we have a fundamental essence, something that makes us us. And I really, really wanted to believe that there was something, and I wanted to believe there was a category that I could assign myself to and fit myself into. And I had good motivations for this. I had good reasons, and I learned a lot of very good, important things throughout this process. Before I got into psychology, I was a politician, and there are no more fake people than there are politicians. Arguably, politicians have to play a role. They are essentially representatives. They are meant to represent the people. They're meant to compromise between complex needs and values and differences. They are not meant to be themselves as much as they are meant to be representations of us. We want politicians not to be human. We want them to be perfect, ideal representations of humans. So it's a very different role, and I wasn't cut out for it. I was too honest. I know somebody told me, Erik, you'll never make it in politics. You're too honest. And I don't know if that's true. I think there are many honest politicians out there that manage to thumb the line of being true to themselves and being, at the same time, respectful towards their party and their constituents and the people around them. And I think, uh, it's important not to generalize when it comes to this matter. But what I want to say is that studying psychology taught me that I had boundaries, I had limits I could not thumb on. After learning about my personality, I learned and I understood that there were fundamental aspects of myself I couldn't change. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't forcibly make myself into this socially perfect, ideal image of this chameleon who could be liked by everyone, that could spark joy or passion in anyone, that could rally supporters, unite across political boundaries, connect across the spectrum. I couldn't be that kind of person that always knew the right thing to say in every moment and always knew how to win every debate, every argument. Trying to be that kind of a person crushed me energetically, emotionally. It forced me to be deeply inauthentic and deeply disconnected from myself and how I felt and who I was. And so, 10 years into the study of psychology, I had to confront myself with the fact that despite all of this, I was still changing. Despite the fact that I had found a category and identity to which I felt I could fit myself, I was still changing as an individual. I was still finding out who I was. Some people think that, once you're 25, 20, 30, I don't know what, you know who you are and you're essentially in place and you found a fixed shape. And from that point on, you stop changing. But we know that that's not the case. We know that people change all throughout their lives. We tend to be often unaware of our own changes because we tend to forget who we were. We forget how we used to talk, who we used to be friends with, what we used to do, what kind of things we used to be interested in. And when we're confronted with it, we have a bit of an hesitancy to want to deal with it. We kind of want to separate ourselves from it, to pretend that wasn't us, that that didn't happen, that we weren't that kind of a person. And still, we have to accept that that's who we were, that this was us, a part of us, a part of our story, a learning experience. So I think that many people look for personality type because it's like having a kind of compass, a kind of bearing on where you stand and where you will continue to stand for the rest of your life. Hoping you'll find something absolute about yourself, hoping that you will stop changing, hoping that you will stop reinventing yourself, hoping that you'll eventually find that one career, that one way of living, that one hobby, that one interest, that one set of values that will remain consistent for the rest of your life, so that you never have to doubt yourself anymore, never have to question yourself anymore, never have to feel lost anymore. Still, the world keeps turning. We know today that while we used to believe that we were the center of the universe and that the sun, the planets, the stars all revolved around the earth, we know today that no, the earth is just as lost as we are. It's hurling through space at an unfathomable speed, twisting, rotating, and we are just a part of the ride. We're just, you know, in a constant state of change, a constant state of flux, and we don't even feel it. We don't feel that the earth is turning. It doesn't feel like I'm being tossed from place to place. It doesn't feel like I'm on a rocket, a space rock. Uh, it feels like I'm standing on the earth. I still feel stable. I feel centered. And I think it's important to hold on to that feeling. Also in the scope of the fact that life is not infinite. Your life is not going to last forever. You're not going to be the same person in one day, in 10 months, in 10 years, in 20 years as you are today, and you won't live forever. So what do you do if you're forced to be confronted with the fact that you are aging, you are changing, and the things that you believe today, you won't always believe? What do you do? How do you stay centered? Well, I think it's important to, in that state of mind, focus on the present moment, because we are, more than anything else, I think, experiencing creatures. We are people who, first of all, will have a one-time shot at experiencing life. In every moment, you in that moment has only one shot to experience that moment, and after that it will be gone and you'll have lost it and you'll never have the chance to experience that again. So being alive should give us this infinite fascination with lifting every rock, turning every stone, looking at every single little tidbit, learning every single piece of information you can learn about this specific moment, this specific time and place, this specific instance of your existence. Every single day should be a day where you live fully and commit fully and stay connected to your deeper intentions and why you're here. Staying centered in your intentions, just understanding and being aware of your sense of agency, is crucial to maintaining a feeling of being alive. Because I think if there's anything that we should try to hold on to when we're alive, while we are alive, is that feeling, that sensation that we are alive. No matter what happens to you, no matter what you're feeling in this moment, you are alive and you're here to experience that, and that is a gift. That is a gift regardless if you are sad, regardless if you're experiencing grief, regardless if you're angry, regardless of how you feel or what's happening. You are at least here to be here to experience that. And yes, tomorrow you will feel differently about it. And I think it can be hard to cope with that. And I think many people hold on to emotions for that reason, because we don't want to change. And so we don't want our emotions to change. Of course, we want to continue to be sad. Of course, we want to continue to hold grief. It is, after all, a sign of respect for whatever it is that we care about, our values, our identity, who we are. Of course, we want to stay as passionate today and tomorrow as were yesterday about our hobbies and interests, and we don't want to change our minds on political discussions or political values. We want to hold on to whatever beliefs we had, but we can't, and we know that trying to is futile and kind of kills the whole experience of it. So what do we do? What can we hold on to? What can give us a sense of centeredness in a time of constant change and constant flux? Well, first, it is important to remember that it doesn't change that much, or it doesn't change that fast. All the changes that you have achieved have been slow, subtle, and incremental. Big and radical change doesn't tend to last. It tends to fizzle out as soon as it started. But the slow incremental change that happens a few minutes a day, just a few thoughts that pop up here and there once in a while, slowly adding up till it's a rock slowly falling down from a mountain faster and faster and faster, eventually just swooshing by. I don't know where my Dutch is coming from here, but just swooshing by. uh, and yeah, uh, that's kind of how it goes with all our changes. It's slow and incremental at first, but it adds up, and we don't even notice how it happens. Just one day we wake up and we realize that, oh, I'm different now. At the same time, I think I've often had a sense of guilt over the fact that I changed. I wanted my viewers to be able to continue to experience me just the way I was when I started out making videos, and I wanted to be able to make the kind of videos that you guys fell in love with in the first place, and I wanted to make sure that those videos had the same message, the same ideas, the same story that they had when I started out. And I kind of felt like, as I grew older, that I didn't have a right to this channel anymore. This channel was the channel for the old Erik Thor, and with the old beliefs that Erik Thor used to have, and with the old, way that I used to be. And I didn't have the right to post here anymore. I didn't have a right to use this anymore. I didn't have a right to talk to you guys anymore, because I felt perhaps I had betrayed an old version of me. And yeah, perhaps that shame, I think, was something that was important for me to confront myself with. I have to forgive myself for the fact that I am me, and I also have to accept myself for who I am today, and also I have to appreciate myself for how far I've come, because I genuinely do believe that I've grown as a person, that my message has gotten deeper, that I have achieved wisdom in areas where I felt foolish or feel was foolish in the past. Yeah, my beliefs on certain topics might have changed, but I'm still the same person that likes to talk about psychology, people, personality, identity, and philosophy, and that part of me is still there, just as the politician is still there, just as the old computer geek is still there, just as the guy who used to work in the school newspaper is still there, every single part of me is still there, and I can remember it, and I can pull from that, and I can use that experience in my day-to-day life. And I'm happy that I had that experience and that I got to enjoy that, and I can remember how fascinated I felt doing that, and how in love I was with that when I was doing it. And I'm glad that I got to enjoy that, and I'm glad that every single moment of my life I've got to experience awareness, happiness, joy, sadness, pain, grief with awareness. I've faced every aspect of my life 100%. I've been in there. I know how it felt to be there, and I was fully in it, and I was fully committed to it, and I gave my best to make the right decisions in that moment when it happened. So, where am I today? What's changed? In the last year, I fell in love and I started a new relationship. We moved in together last spring, and I couldn't be happier. I really, really enjoy her as a person. She is truly somebody I'm extremely grateful to have. I also got to move back to Sweden again and reconnect with my family, and I'm so happy to get to spend time with my nieces and nephews, to talk to my sister again, to be there for my family again. I got the chance to start in a role as a CRM operations manager. So basically, I administer customer relations management software. I do development work and engineering work and management work. So a bit of coding and a bit of people. A perfect mix for me, a person that likes to wear many hats. I'm glad that I get to apply both programming, psychology, people skills, and communication, and my past experiences in what I do. And I really feel fascinated with my work because it is confronting me with a lot of questions about what it means to be mature, responsible, forward looking, seeing the bigger picture, prioritizing between many equally important issues, choosing a path, and following and committing to a deadline or a timeline. And I'm also happy that these days I give a lot more room for myself for private creative expression. I know I used to feel almost like I had to share everything that I did with you all. And nowadays I've started to recognize the importance of also having ideas and thoughts that I keep to myself. I wrote a long non-fiction piece on the matter of identity and change and personality psychology. And I started writing short stories in science fiction. And I got a piano and I started playing the piano again. And I read more than 60 books so far this year. And I've got to also enjoy regular fiction again. Um, I didn't realize how amazing Haruki Murakami is, or uh, Rooney, or like the normal people, Intermezzo. Uh, I found so many fascinating books that I really would like to recommend all of you. If I would recommend one book for you all, though, it is The Courage to Be Disliked. I've also been engaged with a lot of spiritual exploration, particularly Taoism and Confucianism. I've been very interested in ancient Greek theories as well as Eastern spiritual aspects and combining opposites. So, if I would say that I have a message these days, it's not so much to get addicted to your dominant personality or your strongest personality traits, but it is to be a full and complex person, both in your strengths and weaknesses, to be equally open about your strengths as you are about your weaknesses. And with that, I mean your inferior function and other aspects of yourself. You have to recognize how important it is to be and move in different domains, both those that you feel confident and comfortable in and those that you feel uncertain about or uncomfortable in. You have to be both a strong and vulnerable person at the same time. So this aligning of opposites, this allowing yourself both to be the person that is and can shine and be a hero in your strongest function or skills or abilities, but also the person that can be say, hey, I don't know how to do that yet, and I'm still learning about this, and I'd love some help with this, and I would absolutely find that interesting. Somebody that pushes their own boundaries and is responsible for their own education, learning, growing, changing. You can choose to be a different person every single day. You can choose to master a new skill. And if you only do what you're good at, you're going to find that you're going to struggle in so many areas of life that are essential to happiness. How can you fully expect to live a happy, thriving life in your company, in your relationships with your family, and in your personal life if you are such a one-dimensional and one-sided person? You have all cognitive functions and all personality traits within you. all you have to do is look to your closest family members and friends and learn from their example, and let yourself be led by others as much as you allow yourself to lead other people. Allow yourself to be led by others, and just as much as you allow yourself to be confident in what you can and what you know, allow yourself to be uncertain and to ask questions and to constantly challenge yourself with new questions that you don't know the answer to. We are all constantly learning, growing, changing. Yeah, we're different people every single day, just a little bit, but just a little bit. It's a gradual process. It's less than a percent, less than a tenth of a percent that changes every single day. It's probably even less than that, but it is a lot. And it happens day by day, and we live for many, many days. And that means that over a long period of time, insane amounts of change are possible, and differences happen. And yeah, there is something like entropy to all of it. Yes, things that used to be there are lost, memories are forgotten, things that you used to be able to do are no longer possible, values that you used to have you don't really care about, but there are new values that come, that become interesting. And most of all, you have still been given this amazing opportunity to enjoy today. Every single day you're given this wonderful opportunity to enjoy today and to give yourself fully to explore whatever is right in front of you on your table right now. And you might have a concept of your future, what's going to happen, and you might have a concept of your past and who you used to be, but let yourself be a bit ambivalent about it all. Respect the past and who you used to be, respect your history, and look to the future, sure, but allow yourself to question how much of yourself that you really remember and really know, and how much of the future you that you truly are going to become. We often have this idea of the higher self or future self or past self, and we're often seeing ourselves as people trying to overcome who we were in the past and trying to become who this idealist image that we are aiming for in the future. But whoever you are today is good enough for today. And whatever you need for tomorrow, that will come from tomorrow's version of you. Thank you again for watching, and if you have any thoughts on this, or if you experienced this kind of a change in your own life, or struggled with letting go of yourself, or felt lost, let me know in the comments down below, and also tell me how you feel about that today and how you moved on after all of that. Thank you again, and see you all in the next video.